getting ready to set up, and the dog started blasting diarrhea. So,
Fertilizer
Yay.
in the house.
Mm,
I
yeah, fun
assume.
stuff.
yeah, it's not where that's supposed to go.
Most of it in her kennel, at least. So,
Hmm.
Disgusting.
but she needs a new pillow.
Oof.
Poor thing.
Where did we leave off?
I'm pretty
On
sure.
the great
Shopping.
Z. Yeah, you
I
guys
think we were wrapping up
finished up.
placing some orders, and then we
You
were
guys
gonna.
finished up Rossmeyer pretty much, um, or Havisham, um, as that was pretty much yeah shopping, replacing your shipments, your garments, replenishing your stocks of things.
They
Um,
had failed miserably trying to get the password
oh,
to the lady.
Right. I mean, we were
Hilarity
close.
ensued.
I'm gonna go ahead and push the long rest button.
Yep. So yeah, restocked you are. If there's anything that you guys wanted to specifically do in one of the uh, biggest ports at the tip of the Great Expanse.
um,
Did we level up? No, probably not. Oh, I think I was gonna go back into the library after we rested up and everything.
Mhm,
Yeah, I thought that was the plan.
mhm, mhm.
yeah. What were we going to the library for again? Like we had the.
We got the hex rod, the golden hex rod.
We got the maiden or whatever too, right?
There's a yeah.
The Maiden Rostmeyer.
Tristan is holding that down, finding a way to wrench that out of the ground.
Did we get that out of the ground, or is it still in there?
He's pulling it out of the library.
Yeah, I don't think we were going back in there for anything in particular. I was just doing some research, seeing whatever information
Oh,
I can get in there because I
DM's
mean it's the relics and shit there, you know.
DM's
Yeah, and
got a.
you can always consort with the archivist uh, core there at that dig site, because especially since they've been digging there for a long time, they'd probably be able to, especially Driston, as you guys, kind of saved his bahooty there down in the library.
Um, what's his name again?
Driston Avron.
All right, so he's we
The
haven't rested. We just went and
Yeah, the
we just went
cockatrices are
and
the
drank and
guys.
stuff like that,
Yep.
and had a shower and everything,
Yep.
right?
So you guys can, yeah, and you guys can do the rest up and that, and that's why it
And
takes a little
Traps
more
found out
XP.
what happens when Z gets drunk.
That.
Trying to remember
I'm-
getting drunk last time. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I just yeah.
Well, you
I'm
did.
sure glad that it's not as embarrassing for me. When I mean, I don't act like Z does. No, no, heavens no.
No,
I
yours just much, much worse. than you are
You were
normally.
supposed to keep track of him, and you did not. You aided and abetted him.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So kind of just as a general, Eckern is floating around, usually just staring off into space. Every now and then he'd pull out like, I don't know, like a pan flute almost, and kind of play on it, but no sound comes out. It's just, it's an illusion. He doesn't have those actually.
He doesn't actually have a voice box either, but we can hear him.
Right.
So basically, we just hear him blowing into air.
Yeah, it's like the weird concept of blowing, right? Like, because he doesn't actually blow air either. So kind of like the sound of like hitting a speaker. That's a weird concept. So
He's
So he kind
mimicking
of-
the sound of blowing to the best of his abilities.
right. So right, because he normally sounds like one of those little like homophone things. Because that's what he looks like. That's what they all look like. So he perks up real quick, and then like almost like in front of you guys' face is like this this red strip in like a weird language that you guys don't recognize. With like weird might be exclamation points. And he's like, guys, I remember something. As you guys are
Is it
like
something you can actually say, or is it
in
another
the
one of
in room.
those?
Because we were going to go back down and get out one of the maids from the soup.
Is that what
Nah,
you're calling it?
We would. All right. Yeah, weren't we trying to get it because the
It's been a bit.
problem with having too many notebooks and none of them are handy right now?
I went and pulled out what was necessary.
Andy's Lady of the Wood. Weren't we trying to get her
As well.
She protects all of us.
And
right? But
Some
you
better
guys
than
could,
others.
you guys could, or you could rely on Vaughn, as she is also attempting to replicate the basically mannequin stand-in that is generally used for a physical avatar for a maid.
We either get the real thing or we just use what she's concocted.
the real thing that we do not 100% know is not corrupted still, because it was full of that soup, as Eckern so eloquently called it. Do we risk corrupting your lady, Z, if we bring that back?
If only
I
we
don't
had a
think
way
that's
of
possible.
guaranteeing the corruption to dissipate.
Fire?
Akron,
Well,
do you
that's-
remember something?
That's abrupt.
I don't know. I'm willing to try fire. Sounds fun.
It's pretty much a trident. Okay, sorry, I'm not in character. Pretty sure last time I checked, fire seems to do the trick.
I mean, yes, in the past, you guys have recently been killing it with fire.
And
But how much is it going to damage the structure underneath?
It does
Is it-
tend to
are we-
literally destroy everything that it touches, yeah.
Nah,
Kind of
exactly.
the property of fire.
So yes, we absolutely 100% burn out the corruption, and at the same time we destroy the very thing we were trying to save from corruption.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Hold on.
I
So,
just don't know how well this plan was thought through.
Well,
I
it
said it
would
was
mean
a plan, so
It was more of a half-baked idea.
a small suggestion maybe.
that has been statistically working.
Well,
For the use for which it was concocted, but I think this is a different use case altogether.
Mm.
You s- Hold on. Okay, so are you saying like at the beginning of time when man made the fire and stuff, it's been
Oh,
successfully
that's a long
working. Is that
time.
what you're saying?
At
first off,
destroying things, yes.
I just want to point out one little technicality here. We goblin folk claim responsibility for the invention of fire.
That's true.
So just to be clear, we didn't start the fire. It was always burning.
Now we're
Certain of
under a
my
lot of
cousins
pressure.
have been using it since before this war.
That's true. Technically, those are all technically true statements.
Hmm.
Well, I for one think
But I
that
think-
we should probably give it a shot, seeing as we've come this far. Should at least.
Why don't we grab the big boy?
We know somebody who's really good with fire.
I
He owes
think
us a few favors still.
really good with fire is maybe not what I was thinking of how I describe him. He's
Could just flash
really
forward.
good at
to that.
making fire.
Just flash forward to that sitting in front of this big doll.
He is
Him just
profuse, if not
like,
proficient.
want me to what?
Burn it, but don't burn it. That's all.
I mean, we're trying to drive the corruption out, right? So it's kind of like an exorcism, isn't it? Kinda?
Duh, but I don't think holding little candle in front and
Well, I mean,
is going to do much.
tracks.
I
I mean,
can go-
don't you? Do you know
I'm-
anything about that?
An arcane exorcism.
So the last time I did an exorcism, it was a bit.
How
rough
did
for
he
me.
manage to make it sound so much better?
Wait, what were you saying, tracks?
So I was privy to a couple of exorcisms, but the last time I tried it, the lady's head spinned around and then spewed stuff everywhere. And then the padre that was there doing the exorcism, he went crazy and jumped out the window. So really know if I'm the best to do something like this, but I'll try. Um,
You
because
say the
this
head spun
exorcism by
around.
fire-
Exactly how far did it spin around?
Oh, those owls, like they can sort of spin the head completely around. Yeah, a little bit further than that.
Aha. Yeah, okay, note to self, if I'm possessed. Trax does not get to perform an exorcism.
I
But it was
lean in
physically
close when I'm like,
impossible. I'm not
that's
sure
what
how
I
it
was
happened.
thinking. It's basically
I never said that was my expertise. I'm more of a healing person, not really an exercise the demons person.
okay.
So we need to ask someone who knows how to exorcise the demons?
Oh, no. I think we're getting off track. What we need
Okay.
to do is get the guy with the flame, put him in front of what needs to be burned, burn the sons
And
of bitches.
exercise the corruption.
Yes, but also we need to ascertain whether or not the maiden's vessel theme is resistant to fire.
Zendira's subclass changes to wildfire druid.
Okay, I need to look this up now. I'm gonna go dark and like instead of like being servant of the Lady of the Wood, I'm just gonna go and burn all the forest down everywhere. This dark Zendira.
All right.
It's like we just
I do
need to
have
purify.
sincere question though. Sincere question. Is the corruption once something is corrupted, is it integral to the corrupted being at that point, or is it still separate but present? Because if it is separate but present, I have heard of incantations that can send entities to other planes.
Oh, you're
If we
talking
could
about banshee
target
things.
the
Well,
if we could target just the corruption and leave the framework behind.
I lean into Grins. I'm like, isn't that an exorcism?
most physical parts for external components were made to be integrally immutable.
Right.
Integrally immutable. But if it is immutable, then how is her current framework damaged?
That's a good question. But that was because the last thing was from the Maid of Destruction, so her destruction would be immutable.
Ekram? They put a lot of information in the libraries, didn't they?
Yes,
Did they
if it's
catalog?
still there.
Did they catalog how they made the maids?
Yes, I think it should be in there if that's what they cataloged.
So if this maid is kaput, then maybe we can get the instruction.
Or maybe we can learn if we can fix it or not.
Or maybe we can get those instructions and expedite the process back at
I
Q.
think if they had figured out how to fix them, they wouldn't have killed everybody in the first place. So probably building a new one is better bet.
That is also technically true.
All right, here's what I think. One, we should continue this conversation as we head in that direction to see if we can come up with some way to salvage what's already there. Two, we should definitely grab anything from the archives that might help expedite the process, so we're not... So Vaughn's not working from scratch, reinventing the wheel. Maybe we can jumpstart and some of what she's doing back there.
I think that is probably best plan.
What was our
Somewhere in there, there's fire.
And an exorcism, maybe.
probably in the library?
Let's try to find the information first,
Actually is.
remove it from library, and then whenever we have got whatever we need for that plan safely away from where the conflagration will be, then we can go ahead and attempt to burn corruption from Avatar.
What was our stork friend's name again? The
The
archivist?
flame guy.
No, the archivist, the stork guy.
Oh,
Tristan.
Tristan, thank you. Okay. We probably
right.
shouldn't tell Tristan we're taking stuff from the library. I guess we can put it
Well-
back.
He kind of owes us at this point. Yeah.
What's he gonna do?
We wouldn't
Stop
have
us?
a library for us to take stuff from if it wasn't,
so technically it's not really taking. It's more like what's the word I'm looking for? Research. Yes.
Research. That's a good way to put it.
I
Or
think we deserve
we can
library
just
cards
say-
after what we did.
I am archivist. He is archivist. Ms. Vaughn is archivist.
Oh,
We just need to
good point.
transfer files for further research to another
Alex-
location that is better equipped.
Alex has a
Tristan
great
did
point.
send you guys out to
They're
just
all
get-
archivists,
figure out
which
what
means
they're
that
all
they
up
tend to
to.
think with throwing sticks.
Can't argue
What?
with
I
that.
think I should be offended at that.
What time is it?
in the game would
In
be
the game.
Check my
well, if you
watch.
guys are doing this at the inn when you guys have finished up for the night, it's about 8 p.m.
Hmm.
Havisham is though the big port city, so a lot of things are still kind of open.
Okay. Did we? We destroyed the way down to the mine, didn't we?
No,
For the
no, we
meantime,
fixed it.
yeah,
We
a
fixed
bit,
it?
yeah. Oh, that's right.
Oh,
You
okay.
mended it all the way up.
No.
We didn't fix it. We went and hit the bar right away while they fixed it.
All right.
Straight.
So clarification: I fixed it. You guys did your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up mended it all the way back up.
Oh, that's good. That means I don't have to buy any ropes when we go straight to the bar.
Us. Where is we're in our room right now. Where were we exactly?
There's like the inn that you guys have chosen has a upstairs that has a like double set of 4 rooms, and then there's like a hallway, and then there's like an inset where there's like tables and stuff, and then 4 rooms that kind of face inward to that. And there's like BAP and then another set. So you guys have like this kind of like sitting in like this common area, kind of curtain drawn.
Where's Katya?
Under the table. Sort of.
Oh.
Sort of. Under the table, sort of.
So I was gonna say, because she's got the wings now. I don't know how else she's
then
gonna
kind
fit in this space.
Kind of rolls her eyes and then just kind of like almost like she fades out of existence. Kind of like the shadows of the room behind her just kind of and just kind of sets in it.
Oh, that is neat
Right
trick.
of the opal dragon.
That is neat trick. I like that.
So it's like almost like you do that, like the illusion, like you change perspective, and it's like it's just the shadows. It's not her there anymore.
No.
All right. Well,
Is a spatial dragon.
So
I
it's just like takes a strap off the table and holds it out to her. Does her head like come out of the shadow into the room?
you like hold it out. You're like, is she under there? And as you change over, you see the eyes and the face, and then just, and you're like, okay. You turn back. It's like spatial dragons.
all right.
Well, that's a neat trick.
And that would explain the ability to do the summoning in and out.
We
Well,
And most dragons.
I am gonna turn in for the evening. I think. I'm still a little bit woozy from earlier, and it sounds like we've got a full day tomorrow. So I want to get started on it bright and early, if I have to.
Fun fact: since you guys generally, as a group, have some pretty high either intelligence or wisdom, from all the dragons you guys have run into, you have not run into. You have not run into dragons in their actual form that were metallic, and you have seen no chromatic dragons. But lore-wise, not that they're not there. Not that they don't exist. So
gotcha.
you guys, for islanders coming to the Great Expanse, the history you guys, both islands have kind of eradicated their version of wyverns to make a more citizenry across the islands. Humanoid colonization, Will. Fun fact.
Cool.
Anyway, continue.
Noted.
No, I got it. Anyway, so
Right. So there's one for taking a nap.
one
Yep.
for two.
Just until Z's head clears the rest of the way.
Oh.
Trax kind of gives out a big yawn and he's like, that's not a bad idea. I think I'm gonna go do the same.
Yeah. Yes, he's gonna lay down for the night too.
Yes,
Did you
Dorn's
guys
gonna sit up with Katya for a little bit just to keep an eye out.
Do any of you guys ask for a wake up call in the morning?
Yes, no, no, no.
Apparently, that was an option. It's like, no, I'm fucking do that. I'm fucking wake me up.
Well, I'm gonna be up early, but I'm not gonna want to be bothered.
Yeah, Grins orders a wake up call for Ilix.
Oh.
Please don't tell him that you did. Just have him do it anyway.
For like 5:30 a.m.
For the record, Ilix is already up.
Yeah.
Alex was just kind of doing his own thing, like making sure like his backpack's all straightened up. It's like 5:30 in the morning. It's like, hello, people from the wide area of Rossmeyer. It's me, yo fellow DJ 3. Oh, calling to you from the rocks. He's like,
Oh,
what?
he went
Just like a rock
all
sitting on his
in.
desk. Alex just like throws the rock at the wall.
Okay, cool.
Well, I'm always up early making breakfast, so
All right.
Morning time then. If you left your windows open, a soft morning sunshine comes coming in from the direction of, for you guys, where you guys are facing off to the left. Then comes screaming in as it rises.
like, like, literally screaming.
Right? No. Oh, no. No, just like the bright, warm. If you didn't, it's a very soft light. Because like low stitch count blinds and the curtains over the window.
Zendira wakes up, starts stumbling around like, fine grins of like, that sunlight is screaming in my head.
The first smell you guys get is of freshly baked bread. If you woke up early, you got the soft smell of the sour smell of yeast and other kind of sourdoughs earlier. Those of you who woke up with the sun are starting to get the cooked smell of fresh baked breads and other things. There is a bakery like across the street. If you get out towards your door, you get the smell of cooked meats from the bottom. where they start to cook from.
And if you go by Trax's door, you smell cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
Well, Rins definitely was not awake early. He wasn't awake until Zendira stumbled into the room complaining about the sunlight.
Trax, this being the largest port city where all for all customs, this would be a great place to get a lot of spices and different herbal ingredients.
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna get crazy with the spices.
You know, dried fishes from across the ocean. All kinds of different things. Exotic, local, well, I guess imports from your local plants and stuff. Like,
Almost for sure that you were about to say imported butters, exotic butters.
from Zendira's island, yeah. A lot of dairy stuff, yeah.
We have exotic butters.
It's kind of frowned upon on your island as there are minotaurs. So
Yeah.
so on
Super
Grins and Ilix's island, it's a bit frowned upon. So it's like, that's where your lactose intolerance comes from. Is like those races. But on you and Z's island, yeah, there's butters and cheeses and stuff.
Butter.
All right, well, Grins is gonna give a poorly.
Ilix walks by the door as Z is complaining to Grins about the sunlight, and he says, "This is your problem, Grins." And just keeps walking.
Grins does a very poorly aimed kick in Zendira's direction before falling out of bed, standing up, and walking very quickly towards the smell of cinnamon, saying, "Just shut up, whatever, shut up." Starts pounding on Trax's door. Trax! Something smells good in there. We're friends, right?
Door opens just a crack, and you see Trax's eye, and he looks like he's just happy and just content. And he's like, "Are you talking about me?
Trax, my best
What?
friend.
Is there something you smell? Oh, you must be smelling that sweet smell of cinnamon. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it?
It's so nice, yes.
I wouldn't suppose you might be interested in having a taste, would you?"
Yes, that sounds great. I knew I could count on you.
Yes, indeed. Well, that's nice. Closes the door.
But Trax,
And then he
Buddy.
opens the door all the way with a plate of just the best smelling fresh cinnamon rolls you've ever had.
it was a blessed day that we found you.
Oh, please enjoy.
Grins grabs one of them, says, his most heartfelt thank you.
Shocked at the restraint. He only grabbed one.
Well, he's
Character
not
growth.
drunk, so.
Character growth. Yeah.
Yeah, tell the fellers that they're here. I'm gonna go get ready.
Grins thinks for a moment, what if I don't tell the fellers that it's here?
Ooh. Ooh.
Like, fine. Z, breakfast is ready.
Come stumbling over. Oh. Okay, yeah.
You hear from inside as I'm shuffling around. Yeah, please help yourself.
Grins just sits there he takes one bite. He just kind of slinks back against the wall and collapses till like his knees are up against almost in his face as he's holding the cinnamon bun. This is so good. This is the best thing I've ever eaten in my life.
Oh, thank you. I'm quite proud of it. New recipe I picked up. I've been wanting to try it for ages.
Well, don't change it. It's perfect. It's perfect.
While that's going on, Ilix would like to find Tristan
Oh yeah,
Averin.
I forgot. Ilix is a savory man.
And
He's
an
a
early
sugar.
riser.
So you're like out of the inn. You're like up and down the road.
Yeah.
Like where hey Alex, you wanna where'd he go?
Did you
Alex
make one
power
for
walking
Ilix?
down
Please
the
tell me
street.
you made one for Ilix. Because I will bring it to him.
I will bring it to him. So
Is there like a for in the inn? Is there like a bar area where they're serving breakfast or anything downstairs?
yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay, I stagger down there. I go up.
You follow
to,
the smell of meats and stuff
Well,
downstairs.
I find whoever's serving. I'm like, I need 3 sparrow eggs, orange juice, name a couple other sort of random ingredients.
You know what? I'll get you some equivalents. I know exactly what you need.
Okay.
Oh, I come walking
brings out
down.
brings out 2 fairly large eggs. Larger than chicken eggs, done up however you'd like them.
I'm like, no, I need them raw. I need them all mixed together. Trust me, this is gonna work. Just.
Mm, sure. It brings you. It's Well, now it's this odd like forest yellow green from the eggs. And because the juice is already its own like this light teal green, and then the yellow of the eggs, and the orange kind of. But when you drink it, it does have the juice is definitely very close to orange, very very close. The eggs, oh no, not raw. Oh man, not raw. Cooked, yes. Cooked, yes. It tastes very similar to regular cooked chicken eggs. Raw, no, 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 no. Much.
Why are you doing raw eggs? What's
I
wrong with you?
crack it into crack it
Ugh.
into like a cup, pour the juice in,
Like
mix up some other like
more
random herbs and stuff, and mix it all up.
like
overdose,
more
and knock the
slimy.
whole thing back.
Like the whites are like way more slimy, and it sticks to things. So it's not like this, like it's on its own. It just kind of
Oh,
slurps
God.
down. It like sticks to everything. Like the weird, but like cooked, same, pretty much same, but like uncooked. Oh man,
I get like
Man,
halfway
no.
through it. I get halfway through it, like go plug my nose and go for the second half.
She was this smaller half elf. It's just cut with like like curly braided brown hair. This nice olive complexion. Just kind of just watches as she put it down and just kind of watches like. And it's like, oh, I gotta go. I gotta go.
Like wince. Okay, that's better. I then pull out,
So that was a
take the
scene.
cinnamon roll, and I I dig the cinnamon roll.
Grin says, "Fun fact: I once cast Dissonant Whispers on somebody with a migraine, and his head exploded."
I bet that was a mess.
You have no idea.
So like she comes back and sets down this medium-sized teacup, almost like a mug, but just a medium-sized teacup, and pours a mild shot of something from a bottle. Smells honeyish, and then hits it with like this like hot water tea over it. And she goes, the bartender said that was awesome, and kind of slides it over,
Like,
and it's on him.
oh, tell him. Give him my gratitude.
This is Leonin behind the counter, just like. That was a
Alright.
scene. Ilix. So Ilix has had a walk because he goes to the thing, and they're like, I don't. It's early. He doesn't show up until like, and Ilix is like, God damn it, and like, it's like, where is he supposed to be? You're like, oh, and so then he like has to do like not quite halfway back, but like kind of in like a different direction, halfway back, to where he came from. Walk to his house that he has. Does a hard knock, like now kind of more irritated than he should be because he made the walk all the way out and then back. And Tristan kind of comes out. He's pretty much dressed now. I guess he like sits and he has breakfast at his house. He doesn't go to work early. Ah, wonderful. I was just about. It's almost. What can I do for you?
Well, I was hoping to get an early start on possibly retrieving some things that are of interest to our archivist post further north.
Ah, with Vaughn.
Apparently, that chance is shot, but at least better late than never.
Well, it's not like there's anything else going on down there. That would necessitate any attention off of what you would need. Sure. Let me grab the scones I made. Do you want the scone?
Are they sweet or savory?
He's He looks very nervous, like, I don't know the answer to that question.
Trax walks over.
Dry.
Trax walks
Therefore,
over and he grabs the scone. He's like, whoa, hold on. I know what the big guy wants. I'll take care of it. He puts the scone down. He kicks it into his pocket. He still has a little bit of warm bacon in from what he made earlier. It's like, all right. So I had my bacon. I had my cinnamon rolls. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this bacon, crunch it up. I'm going to take a little bit of molasses, put it right there, put it all over that scone. Yes, that's nice. Here you go.
Bacon scone. Maple bacon scone. Maple bacon scone.
That's exactly what I was going for.
Wow. You always carry pocket bacon?
Pocket bacon.
If you have to ask. The answer
That
is
is the
yes.
thing.
There probably is a few creatures that would have bacon that would survive a pocket. Probably.
Same. Like I already had some that was good to go. I
Sure
just so
are.
happened to be ready for the occasion. It's kind of what I do.
Nifty.
Except the pocket bacon scone and
Bacon scone.
nibble at it a little bit. a little unsure. Take a little bit of lint out.
Roll for Constitution.
Roll it.
No, it's fine.
Oh, is that serious rolling?
I mean, sure.
Sure.
I tell you what,
Okay. Is it
high.
a save or a check?
If you get high, then you're in for a pleasant surprise. If you get low,
We'll see.
Okay. Just let that one hang. Is it a save or a check?
roll.
Doesn't matter. It's the same thing either way. So, 19 total.
Hey.
Yeah, there you go. That molasses that I used was probably the most pure molasses you've ever had in your life. It did nothing but accentuate the flavor of the bacon, and it when it soaked into the scone, it was moist and made it warm. Oh, it was perfect. You're welcome.
But that's not pig bacon.
That's
And if
not
cooked
big bacon.
improperly, it's almost like blowfish. It could suffocate you. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I could have
Chunks the rest of it down. Just doesn't stop to enjoy it or anything. Just chunks the whole thing down. Chunk, chunk.
Grinch walks in just in time to see that. Like, Drax, why didn't you tell me we were having scones?
Like, apparently everybody else knew where they were going except for Elix. So he was like,
I didn't know scones were on the menu. I was just making cinnamon rolls.
At any rate, I believe we have project to get to. So
no, yes.
Uh,
Lots of mysteries to uncover, lots of things to share. Come. And then you can tell me about all the things Vaughn's up to up there.
you would not
Maybe
believe me
if you
I
guys
told
have
you.
a better way of communicating with outposts out across the Great Expanse that is quicker than somebody who also rides on horseback and takes forever.
Why, is there a message you're hoping to send?
I would just, like to hear back from them before, they die, like I've had a few.
That is fair.
We don't know anything about that.
Is this the cat lady?
Right. No.
Oh, good.
Good. Just making sure.
Yeah. I was like,
I mean, you all have gotten back here very quickly.
Are you insinuating something?
Was one of us carrying a tuning fork?
No? Was that?
Was one of us carrying a tuning fork?
No,
Okay.
not anymore.
Okay.
Wait, what? Okay, so we got here through the tuning fork, didn't we?
No.
We
Or shit,
are
it's been so long.
You
sporadically
guys got set down this
fast.
time.
It's
You
an
guys got the new teleportation.
experimental method that is
My friend doesn't know what he's talking about.
So during the time when we were doing the one shots, Ilix did some time stuff for the quartz dragon. And he had a stern talking with Vaughn about how she was misusing the improper technology to do teleportation.
She listened to him. I mean, I was trying to tell her that for who knows how long.
Well, she was using something that was more for like temporal things and picking a spot in time where you all would have been at in some different point in the universe and then dragging it over to your time instead and then like forcing you guys there.
Whoa. She did the 2 points on a piece of paper and then folded it in half.
right in time on like your time graph, because like it would be like 3D as you guys make different choices. So basically, she would in your universe would take a different point where you guys would have been there, and then like dragging that to your point and forcing you guys there.
I'm just glad she didn't have a pencil and paper on hand because I may have slapped her.
Right. Worked if she works, but like a very roundabout way of doing things. So he kind of did like the stop that.
That's a conversation I want to have with her
As
because I have
she was
questions.
causing problems. Well, yeah, she was causing problems. Yeah, there's problems that have been caused. Yes. Because like, where do those use go?
Yeah, that's my question. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to know.
So yes. So she has since used a proper device.
But those other us's are still missing.
Sometimes undamaged, sometimes, it, when you don't know what fail safes you need to have before you do something, like early science in the Americas. Or early inventions, I should not quite science, but early inventions in the Americas where you don't know what fail safes you should have until it's too late, and you're like, oh shit, maybe I should have had some kind of, seatbelt device.
Control rod.
That's disconcerting.
The ancient technology of this place is a pathway to many powers some would consider unnatural.
Event Horizon, anyone?
You're right.
I'm
I don't know.
pretty sure
It does
that
kind of
was
make for a good story in the end.
where we all die. I'd like to think that we're literally having this conversation in front of this person.
Considering our prior conversation about
like-
exorcisms, I for one would not like to get possessed via faster than light travel.
Right, because he did ask like what's they been up to, and you're like, oh well, Vaughn does the teleportation thing, and it's like, oh actually, it was like actually, like Vaughn got in trouble for that earlier because she was doing this. And he's just like, she does what now? From where?
Experimental, not ready for widespread use.
I would hope. What? Okay.
This is great.
So to answer your question, yes, there is a faster way. No, there's not a safer way, we're sure, as of yet.
Oh.
We almost ended up in the Shadow Realm.
What?
Don't go there.
There's a Shadow Realm?
I mean, I think that's what it was. We didn't go there. But we were
It
very
was
close.
a dreadful place. A full domain of it.
So what my friends are trying to say is, whatever way you're looking for, you don't actually want. So let's talk about something else.
Yes. So, other topic. Vaughn. Vaughn has some research that she's doing, and we need to borrow some materials for it.
Yes.
I'm sure this is
Wonderful.
much safer than the portal.
Yeah, any information you have on the construction or material of the maids, we need to borrow that.
Or exorcisms.
By fire?
Ekron goes, so is this guy cool?
I don't know, guys.
Like literally like poking him in the head, like but like not really. So it's like,
I look very pointedly over Avern's shoulder and says, I'm gonna say yes, he's probably cool.
cause he's been freaking out a lot. And like he's cool, okay. Kind of like
No, as he says that, Grin starts exclaiming excitedly in Goblin, ooh, materialize, and let's see if he freaks out. Let's materialize and see if he freaks out.
No.
In Goblin, Alex is like, slowly, we don't want to have a heart attack on our hands.
We're no fun.
it's interesting because Ekern's always there for you guys at this point. But you can literally see the moment he materializes, the direction at which he starts materializing, and the maybe 3 or 4 different thoughts that Dristan has as it happens. As his face, is like looking at you guys, and then you can see the eyes look like they peer past, but definitely zoom into right in front of his face from the tip of Ekern down to the feet, comes straight back to the center. His pupils widen out to get a bigger full picture of him. The moment
In Gnomish, I'm going.
Give him space.
Don't freak out! Don't freak out! Don't freak out! Don't freak out!
it's like a weird thing from like looking at it, like almost looking at him, like interesting. And just his facial expression is, well, hello there, little one. He goes,
See, I told you he'd be cool.
all right, my
That was
friend
not
said
very
you're
robotic.
cool, so be cool. Yes. No, okay, yes. So we're heading down to the
Oh yeah,
Passed out.
he's from.
He's like, yeah, no,
Okay, I will
Worth
attempt
it.
to revive him. Can I do a medicine check to?
he's fine. He's
Okay,
breathing.
Okay.
Okay,
He
I
hit
was
the
about to go,
ground
like,
on his shoulder
Wow,
a little
yeah.
hard.
Prince just crosses his arms and leans back and says, that was great.
I don't even attempt to like do a healing. I just kind of poke him with my foot real quick and then the edge of my staff, and then I just walk away.
Just
I
like
guess
that
we
stiff
can
bird thing.
go to the library.
Right behind you,
Yeah.
Z.
I
He-
before walking out, I rolled Dristan onto his side.
It startles him up. He's like, oh, my goodness. I'm on the floor. He gets up real quick. He's like, oh.
Are you okay there, boyo?
Hold on,
Ekron
just a
is
minute.
still floating around. Oh. Like the long. Down. Who is collecting outside of your fort?
who is collecting outside
Who
the
has
fort?
been collecting outside of the fort?
Oh yeah, we have
One
a
we haven't
fort
gotten
that
to
we need
yet.
to get to.
Yeah.
There's been a few people throughout you guys' like one shots who have been like, "Hey, if you guys know of a place where I could set up shop," you're like, "Yeah, sure."
We got a
But
fort,
there
it's
has
fine.
still squatters, so
Yeah.
they're all
We
just
can
kind of
get
getting there
there.
and be like, "Oh." Along with now, oh gosh, how long has it been? Maybe not yet. Yeah, maybe a few more days. But the two individuals assigned to you guys by deed,
Assigned to us. What do you mean?
given to you by
Wh-
deed,
wh-
assigned to the deed.
Oh, like they're caretakers for our place?
Yeah, like deed. Yeah, like they come with the deed. They come with-
Oh yeah, the fort thing. Got it. Isn't Homeboy supposed to be sending us a rod?
as well. Yes.
Oh yeah, we need to get.
So
there.
those would be the people who would like receive it as well.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we should probably clear
Warn
out.
them ahead of time.
Warn them ahead of time.
I was thinking more just, clear out the squatters before we start sending stuff there.
For shipping the most valuable artifacts in existence to a bunch of squatters.
So yeah. Are they really squatters or are they more like refugees?
There's only one way to find out, and that
We
would
don't.
be like
You're not quite
go
sure yet.
there and
So
And
who's gonna
exorcise
talk
them
to
from our fortress.
Okay, so here's the deal.
with
Crax
fire.
Crax walks over and just puts his hand on his shoulder and just goes, listen. I know you're kind of obsessed with this whole exorcism thing. I'm gonna need you to calm
Zendira
down.
It's a
Will.
phase, okay? It's just a phase.
Zendira
soon be
multi-class.
over it.
Like
Sorry
Oathbreaker
about
Paladin.
that. My wife started vomiting.
Oh no.
So,
Oh goodness.
Is she pregnant?
no, definitely not.
You hope not.
I know not.
I hope she's okay.
No. We were down with COVID the last couple weeks, and we were all doing better, but she's okay. She just needed a moment. That's all.
Okay.
So, all right. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
No worries. All right.
All right. So he gets up. He's like, "Oh, okay. I need to stop being so reactive. I should expect more from this group. I suppose. To the library.
Whoa. Are you pointing fingers? Are you throwing shade right now?
No, I am saying I need to stop underestimating you.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You can't go around doing that with us, boyo.
I am
swear.
way too surprised.
Yeah, you're a
Wait.
little shaky.
I guess
Alright.
most of my studies is staring down into these hex rods.
Oh, that's how
I
we
don't
found. That's where
see
we found
much.
him. Yeah. He's housed in a hex rod. Here, pull his rod.
The broken hex rod I let you guys take.
Well, it's.
Though
Well,
he
Didn't we get him in a not busted one?
somewhat.
You guys got him in a busted one, and now he's in an
Originally,
unbusted one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he sees it's the quad, and he's like,
Yeah.
so. I see he's in a new one. Did you fix the original? I still have not found a
Oh.
way to do so.
No, we found a new one. We were able to transpose him into, and
Ah,
he
I
works
thought
much
that
better
would be
now.
something that is
Right, Ekron?
possible to do. Well, once I get back in there without, the threat of death or corruption, and update, uh, you know, fix what fill in what's missing again. You know,
But we
Uh,
are well on our way to accomplishing that.
you think of like a book that is slowly getting the pages torn out of it, and you guys took the book away and put it in a spot. The pages are still missing, but I'm not having pages torn out anymore. I'm not bleeding.
Which is part of why we want to get down to the library as well, because we may be able to patch some of those holes.
Dristan goes, I suppose with whatever is left.
I mean, we didn't burn the whole place down, Boyle. Don't stress.
Oh no. I agree. Unfortunately, Ekern wouldn't be the only one that has been damaged down there.
Oh no.
Time has taken its toll
On the
on
on the vo-
everything.
Oh, that's not good. So you're saying there's no research to be had down there? Is that what you're saying?
No, no, no. I've learned plenty, and what's left is remarkable findings. And I was not aware of what this little one does, and can do, which I am pleasantly surprised. So there is possibly very much more that I do not have access to. Uh, just from what I found, it's hard for me to see. Probably easier for you lot.
What you mean, Boyle? I give him like the side eye. What do you mean?
Ekern kind of floats around. Is like, he doesn't have a kernel unit.
Uh-oh.
Ah, yes.
It's hard to check out a book without a librarian.
Huh.
Ever
He goes,
checked out a book
I
before?
suppose, I suppose, I suppose.
I'm a firm believer in five-finger discounts.
Baxter says, "Oh, again." He just keeps walking towards the elevator.
he's like, he's like, heads down. There are a few archivists, not archaeologists, but archivists now that are down, and they're almost in like this, like the same kind of like general outfit, but in with more um flow. They have drapery off their shoulders and tabards um down their waist, and they are setting up these weird, almost like they look like light bulbs, and they're on a tripod, like this wooden tripod, and they start to glow blue as they get closer to like areas that they're getting set up at, and then that blue light kind of like fills out into like the area, kind of doing the same thing your general body energy gave off, um, to just kind of run up the area. He goes, I call them batteries. Uh,
That's a
they
silly name.
work. Uh, I'm working on it. Unfortunately, they only do a very small area. I'm just slightly getting an understanding of the energy that is used for these things. Um, as you can tell from yesterday, have not quite um, trying to get past the raw usage, I like to call it. Um,
Oh, hey, I got a question for you. Is it possible? Now, I'm not a man of like, science or anything. I'm more of a clergyman. But if you got these things and they emit light, right? I mean, there's isn't there like a way for you to take it and do the same thing but with like sunlight? Like very, very harsh sunlight. Yes.
Well, that's what we originally thought. It's mm, I'll ex- I'll explain with when we get closer to one, and it kind of you guys hit the ground. And there's like two that are set up almost in front of this like front area, which is more like one side of two pieces, and then a couple of shelvings, and they're lighting up the area. And the hex rods on the shelves are light up, and some of the custodians are fluttering about, making sure stuff is clean. And there it reaches all the way up to their kind of chandelier balls where um they'll disconnect from it, they'll slide out, and they're like little hex grouping, and then their wings will set out, and they'll come down and they'll pick up a hex rod and they'll move it from one shelf to another, and they'll flutter back and fill into an empty spot. um, Very faded, and then gets brighter as it gets closer to one of these like batteries. He comes up to him and is like, "So it's arcane as a base, but only because that's like the original derivative of magic's um energies. eh, So we needed to figure out how to retro an original source. Life, radiant, arcane, dark.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Boyle.
Right, not original, but
Whoa,
what it
hey.
was before, as everything here uses a very ancient form of magic that is like the the ancestor of all of them.
So you're saying there's something alive in that thing?
Well, honestly, it kind of looks over at Eckern. Yes.
So they're like
But
mini
not.
Ekrins.
Like it keeps itself. The original magic keeps itself going. Um, Takes a little to motivate it in a way. It's how it sounds, how it feels to kind of uh, get it to start. It's not like a machine where you activate it, you tell it to do something. It's like a coaxing, convincing,
Hmm.
asking.
Hmm. This may be above my pay grade, I think.
Heckern, do you have any thoughts on these bat trees?
The custodians?
So
Yeah,
are
I
these
like
like
that
the
word
same
better.
as the original? Like so DM, are these like from what we gather, are these basically the same as the original, or is this just I mean, you said it's a retro like um kind of like a hodgepodge
Kind of like
version.
working backwards, yeah.
Okay.
Like if you went and tried to make a dinosaur from a chicken,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay.
but you have since you're down there, you have Jurassic Park dinosaur DNA now.
Yeah, and that's what I
You
guess.
also know what you like. You have an idea, so it would be like modern now. You have an idea of what it was if you look through
Oh
like
no.
the turned off DNA and stuff of a chicken, on and off receptors, and you're like, I have an idea of what I could do to make a dinosaur from them. And then you also had dinosaur DNA. You had like the map, and you're like, oh
We
yeah,
gotta.
okay. And then you try to like 1-for-1 it
Uh.
with what you did have.
We've even got a small, annoying animated figure explaining it all to us.
Yeah. Even this is not DNA. It just looks like a little bard, kind of like with his little hat.
Oh no.
He tries to give references and stuff, and it's like making like lines and like dots, and he takes the colored like different colored dots, and he has like lines that matches the same colors, and then it goes all together, and then he does like ooh ah. Anyway, so then you
Hmm.
and Dristan kind of looks like dress that Ekern is doing better at it explaining than he is. He's kind of like,
Well, to be fair, Ekron's sort of a,
Better namer.
Yeah,
Custodians they are.
so yeah, and the custodians, he's like, those they, you know, clean things. They'll also pick out hex rods that are necessary if you ask.
If you ask, like.
Oh.
So.
Is there a particular
do
way to
you
ask? I doubt
ask?
they speak common.
No, that's right, they would not.
So what would be the way to go about asking? Or do we simply ask you and then you can translate to them?
That would be a very roundabout way of doing so, but I guess if we don't know the language, then I would just have to. And he just kind of looks over at one, and it kind of stops, like it literally got scolded, and it was like, and then like the light that is kind of blue as its like face kind of like flutters in like these weird like green yellow patterns, and then flies off, grabs the hex rod, and then just drops it like a dog went fetch. He's like, yeah, so okay, I guess I could, yeah. I normally don't. It's not, he, was really confused at why I asked him, but I could do that.
We need.
Everything on fire.
That was like, so if I could give you an example of what it was like, that was like asking the general to come down and tell the private to go and do something for him. Comes down, like, private, go and do this. Go and do this. Yes.
What would be normal protocol then?
You guys could. But you guys don't. Give me a moment.
Proper link.
I need to be plugged in.
Mm.
All right.
I pull the hex rods
I
out
think
and
that's
start
the other
looking
guy.
around.
The front, and then like see you're like looking around, and he's like, oh, left, and you're like, it's like down the halls and stuff. He's like, okay, and
It's
there's like
Marco Polo.
it's like it's not where they came down in, so like from the way this is originally set up.
Am I
there's,
just
like,
running off into the darkness? Like,
right, yeah, like just well, like Ekern's like kind of like siren like silently, but like siren like lighting like around, and you're just kind of like
Oh, I
woo,
do
and
have
this like
dark
soft
vision, so-
purple light. It's like woo 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 woo. So anybody who doesn't see like just that run with Zendaya running off into the distance. So the way it's made is like the way they came down is often to like one very the entrance, very right side of the whole building into like one wing of the library, which has been split in the center by the, quarantine door, pretty much, as where the whole other other like left wing of this has been cornered off, in which they've seen the tower from. There's 2 towers from each side. So Ekern kind of takes you down and then to the left towards the front. And there's like a slightly looks like a desk, but mostly like a pedestal, almost. He's like, that's the spot. You can pretty much just toss me.
Really?
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I meant to be.
That might not be
All right,
wise.
toss him.
Yeah.
Wait, was Ilix telling somebody not to throw something?
So you see the Hexrod just and takes a normal trajectory almost past it, and then just kind of whop
Oh.
and kind of backpedals up and just kind of straight upright, and then you see like a light that kind of comes out from it and then radiates out in these circles, um, and then runes kind of bleed out from the center and kind of come out from and almost past you, and you see another circle that hits past you and some more and some more. It's like,
Do I
yep, this
recognize or can I read any of the runes?
no, they're kind of like in that same language that Ekern kind of just like ran across your face.
Can't make an Arcana check or anything.
You can.
Okay.
You can make an
Roll
Arcana
Arcana.
check.
Mm-hmm.
And Arcana or History. Sort of.
I'm the same on both, so I'll go ahead and roll Arcana.
Yeah.
Nat 20. The 23.
So, cool thing. You just gotten information earlier about like how this is more of like a very ancient magic. Just kind of like the ancestor of all of them. So they all branched off from this one. But it to do different things still gives off different markers that you recognize because that's where they derived from. So this is like this soft blue kind of abjuration illusion
That looks like grins.
with almost like this like evocation like top, but in a way that is divine in felt. Right? So in not like this kind of like in like your fire kind of evocation, like this like almost conjuration, but of something quick, like bringing energy forth rather than something physical. That is on my notebook, Cat. So like yeah, it's like this weird, and then as they come up,
Is Dristan near?
not yet,
Okay.
but it's a display. So and it took you about maybe 2 minutes to run down out that way. Um, so and then as you're watching, they runes start to come up, and they'll go off, and they'll hit like the ends of these things, almost like Dewey Decimaled out, just across all of them. And then they'll light what's on the shelves outward when they hit. So it's like they smack in like this like ripple, like hitting the pond, and then the rest will light up along the shelves. And then they kind of hit the end and bounce back like an echo. And then they hit and they rush back. Ekron goes, "Oh, there isn't a lot left. Okay. So then I need to activate the stores." And he kind of looks off into the back and along the back wall, which is on the other direction. Almost like something hit it, like a deep, like someone threw a boulder into a lake. Deep ripple across the wall as the blue light hits from the center and rolls out across the whole wall. The sorter along the back kicks out. The other one that was kind of moving, almost like it got shifted from like a first gear putter to like Mercedes, like just like speeding down the as it starts to just pick things out and sort them out. He's like, "Oh, but this isn't organized. Oh, it's been soft for too long. That's gonna take a while. Just keep okay. What do I have on hand then?" And he kind of lays his hands out and a bunch of these like flat, almost like tablet like illusions just. It's like, oh, okay, okay, that's very recent history. All right, can I get maps? And he kind of rushes over, and you see stars, and you see planets. If any of you guys have had any history in looking up at the stars, you know, you might recognize a few. And then they hit. It's like, okay, that's now. And the stars kind of, you see some of them kind of, but like the ones that are like the planets just. He's like, okay, hmm. And then you
This
see him do
library
this.
has been here a very long time.
You just see him do this for a while.
We seem to have lost Track's audio. We can't
Oh,
hear you.
Oh no, I'm still here.
Oh,
okay.
sorry, I just got a notification that says, "Can anyone hear me?"
Oh,
weird.
I've been
That
to
was
that a
from
long
a
time
long
ago.
time ago.
Wow.
Just showed up now for me.
Weird.
Oh,
Sorry.
but that brings up a good point. Trax is watching all this, and he's kind of like holding his holy symbol and just thinking to himself, "Please don't fuck everything up."
Ah.
Gwyn's is kind of watching and kind of confused at first, but he's just kind of like rolling with it at this point. So, just like having a good time enjoying the show.
So yeah, just for almost 5 minutes, Ekern has just kind of just been sitting on, from your perspective, a star map. And it just kind of has his hand. He's just kind of waving like this, and the planets move over a little bit, and then back, and then a little bit, and then back, and then a little bit. Like a couple of days go by.
Fast forward, rewind, almost.
Yeah, kind of like in between like two sets.
Ekron, I kind of reach
He kind
out
of
to him.
soft looks over.
Hey, are you okay? Like, are you looking for something specific?
Oh, he kind of looks up. Oh, let me turn it around. He double taps, and he goes, and it shows the map of um the Great Expanse.
Oh,
And then he rolls it back, and you see this continent together, um this nice solid piece um in the top of nice snow. These almost almost rolling green forest, and then he rolls it forward, and you see, like, quickly in between, the whole center get pelted with large asteroid like things. You see the craters just right after, you see this large like beam that comes from the far northwest and rakes this large like divot out, and water rushing in and making almost like a its own, almost like its island out the whole top, separates it, and then it shatters the whole eastern side of the island, of the continent, and it gets thrown, and all the pieces get thrown out and almost stop, and it, like, he just keeps rolling back and forth and back, forth.
Ekron, do you remember this day?
No, I missed it. Some of it. This happened within a month. I remember the craters, and then I was locked down here.
so this is your first time seeing it, Boyle.
What's left? Which day? And he kind of because it's he as he like goes to slow down his hand wave, it's months. And you see it slowly. He whoop, 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 whoop. He's like, this one. This is when I got locked up. And you see it's still like way up high, right? Like a very like satellite picture. And you see cities all along the peninsula, the southern peninsula, cities. And then dirt. Almost that adds a whole mile of extra peninsula past. Dirt. That's when they buried us.
When the
And then he
asteroids
goes,
buried you?
no, when we buried us.
He was locked away for safekeeping.
The whole. Everything was.
That
Like you
includes the
would get
corruption
rid
now,
of
doesn't it?
and erased.
Did the corruption rain from the sky with the craters?
No,
Huh.
no. Destruction did. Well,
Wait,
they spread with it. Mm.
Ekron, question. And I understand if you don't know, or maybe you're not supposed to say, um, those meteors, the destruction that was raining on the planet there, that's the end result. That is the power of the X-Rods, isn't it?
No, that came from the glistening.
Oh,
The glistening end. The dark vileness that spread across, pouring from the arcane tethers, feeding into everything that was alive and wasn't, forcing it to do whatever it wanted it to do. Under the guise of its old four generals. Now, I suppose there are new ones.
New generals, but is there a new
Mission.
listening?
Okay, we got asteroids, arcane tethers, the glistening
Generals.
generals.
Let me see if
How
I
many
can
schools
zoom
of
in.
magic are there?
In D&D.
Yeah. Okay, tons. Okay.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
What is it? I think it's 7 or 8.
yeah, and then there's variations of each.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. And
So,
Manipulation, conjuration, evocation,
Yeah,
necromancy.
so the glistening is that. So, Ekron, is the glistening more like divine magic, or is it more like conjuration?
it was when it was when our mat it was when the ancients started to really harness certain aspects of the ancient magic from the tethers themselves. Think of like light when it comes down, it's just white, and you can use a prism to break it apart into the different colors, and that's where you see. We usually waited until the light came out.
Usually.
Usually we did. But a few had found ways to peer at it from where magic came from itself.
Are these one of the generals that peered at it?
A few of them. The ones that got corrupted initially, yes. It tore magic apart.
What do you mean tore magic apart?
I don't like that.
You started getting groups that, would deem certain magic, bad and some good.
Ah, yes, the old segregation trick.
Uh, so the generals would use magics in your forms of, necromancy, illusion, evocation, conjuration. And the ones who weren't corrupted would end up having to use magics like abjuration, divination, enchantment, transmutation, divine.
Interesting.
Has history not taught us anything, huh?
What? Don't mess with the dead.
Ayo.
No, separation normally leads to destruction.
Ayo.
Okay. So these magic tethers, what were those like?
Let me see if I can get a map.
I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map.
Is like when you go into a library from like the ancient things, like those would be one of the few things that hasn't been destroyed. They usually keep marked up. Like I got maps of everything, I guess.
Nobody
So
ever checks them out. Yeah.
no one ever. They're just always there. So
PM.
mhm.
So okay. So is this conversation? Well, I know the conversation isn't, but is basically what he's describing. Since now we have heard it out loud, is there a way for us to look at this in writing later, like as far as explanation standpoint? Like if I were like to open a book and read about it, is there a way for us to have this available?
Yes. I will get that.
Well, I'm saying like in game, like is there? He's saying all this, but like, is there maybe
Oh yes. Yeah, it'd
yeah,
be what he has left.
okay,
Right now he's like out of the hex rods and all the information that is still on the shelves is what he is looking at right now. He can wait for the sorters to sort out the soup that is on the walls, that is like the in like you can basically pull magic out of your butt from those walls. It's like the essence of like itself. Um, but he's got to sort it out. Everything's like it's like if somebody threw a bunch of books in a pile.
So at this point, it's a crossword puzzle as opposed to the Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah,
And is he more like the head custodian basically at this point?
yeah, he is the librarian
Okay,
because he is like the secretary for a maid.
but
Each
is he
maid
in
will
charge
have
of
like a
this
little
place?
girl
Like,
unit.
was he
Mhm.
ever in charge of this place?
Yeah, he's the librarian for the
Okay.
library.
He was the colonel unit for the maid that closed itself
And that's why
in
the
that
guy
other chamber where we fought it.
that's why the guy didn't have access to some of the stuff because he didn't have a kernel unit. Um, okay. Yeah, I got more questions. I got shit apparently I need to read. Like you just information dumped all over my head, and I'm way behind because I came in after the fact.
Usually gives a good effect to the character too. The character's like,
Yeah.
"Well, wait a minute, what'd you guys learn out?"
But that's kind of sad, honestly.
Yeah, so we didn't have much better ideas on how to fix this than, killing it with fire either.
If it
That's
ain't
what I
broke.
was afraid of.
Fire it is then.
But so okay,
It's
so
just
they
how
buried
much
it
are you going to burn down, Zendaya?
So he kind of
before.
flips that map out of the way, and then he kind of reaches out like he's searching into a pocket that's upside down. And then he grabs something and he goes, "Let's see." And it's almost like you're looking from at the surface, but from the inside. So you're like in the center, looking outward at the inside from the inside of the crust of the planet.
Interesting.
Right. And then you can see like from the core as it like turns and it sets like the magnetic field, it kind of splays out this like magic ley line that kind of hits the surface, the inside surface of the crust, and kind of rolls out. So it like smacks out like if you spun a ball and you see the water coming off of it, and it smacks the inside of the crust and kind of sprays out.
Grins is like, okay, you had me go until you got to that round Earth thing.
Them ancients was stupid.
Don't they know there's only 2 islands and then whatever this place is?
Grins is like, the Earth's not round, right, guys? Right, guys?
I'm not answering that. Trax is actively like not paying attention to him.
If the Earth was round, you could sail in one direction and come up just where you started. Like, that'd be stupid.
But if it's flat, doesn't that mean that the ocean should have emptied out a long time ago?
Right?
It's like a bowl.
Oh, that would make sense.
There's a lip. Are you saying we're in a giant bowl?
I was like, no, it's like the giant elephant like picks the water back up and refills the oceans. Duh. So why the oceans are so salty? It was in the elephant trunk.
Oh jeez.
Ocean water is elephant snot, everybody.
It's canon now.
The lore just keeps on coming, guys.
Well, anyway.
Moving on.
Okay, we'll go with around Earth for now. Okay.
I could just kind of like stop. Like, do they want to figure it out any longer, or you guys ready? Okay, continuing on. Anyway, so then we tap into these and that, and it points at the different points of where it like splays out. It like hits in like the west-eastern direction, and then it comes out in like a north-south direction. So it does like it has like this motion around the core. And all the little trickles, you can pull mana from.
And that's
Are
what
we
you,
near any?
That's where you built the tethers.
Yeah. So we built the tethers. Look at you. We put our little feelers down and, pull out deep wells of magic.
And is that where the corruption came from?
When we started to mess with them, yes.
Wait. So you didn't just pull stuff out of there; you experimented with it, and then
A
once
few
the
did, yes.
experimentation started, okay, so a few of the leaders experimented with it, and then once
That's
that
technically
started,
correct.
the corruption started. Correct?
That is technically correct, yes.
Why do you say technically?
It's simplified, but yes, that's technically correct. That's technically exactly how it happened, yes.
So we keep coming back full circle, but I don't want to point fingers. Everybody makes mistakes. It's understandable. But
Mhm.
I guess my question is, what did you think the end result was going to be?
So
Oh, well, most of us had already had the end result. We were perfectly fine with where we were at, yeah.
so did
Or
the
for
corruption
millennias and millenniums and millenniums.
did the corruption come from this core well of magic, or did these leaders poison the well?
Think of who bakes,
Say it again.
who bakes or cooks,
The baker.
right? So
Tracks.
when you have when you have
Me.
a bunch of different you have a bunch of different ingredients that you put together and they make something that you can eat. But you wouldn't just, put oil down your throat as a meal.
No,
When they decided to take the meal and separate the ingredients, um, you know,
Whoa,
you
whoa,
found that
whoa,
some
whoa,
parts
whoa,
of the
whoa,
ingredients
whoa,
aren't
whoa.
necessarily healthy to have on its own.
Hold on. Hold on. So you're saying the corruption was already part of the existence that were the corruption always been there. It was just a one aspect of the magic you pulled out of the area. So
Yeah,
what if it's
like
trying to just
refined
reclaim?
out of.
Oh,
so somebody isolated it.
Probably unbeknownst.
Mm. I suppose they probably didn't publish that into the public archives either.
But could be a byproduct or what they were actually looking for.
byproduct with a mind of its own that became sentient, or it's always been sentient, or maybe the entire time that sentient being was all the stuff combined, and then you separated it, and now it's angry.
Those are all valid questions.
Oh boy, oh, the
If there's a
questions no one
malevolent,
asked.
if there's a malevolent intelligence in the well, maybe there's a benevolent one as well.
Always.
Oh, and I can still hear you.
Well, we can hear you. Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Can I roll?
Hmm.
Shit. Can I roll? Not history. Can I roll an insight check on him?
On Ekern?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on. No. Jesus Christ, 26. That was a natty 20.
Noise.
Second in a row. Go team.
Ekern looks like he is holding back.
Yeah.
Like, and his tones give off the same kind of holding back a parent would, not trying to tell the child some things the child shouldn't know yet.
Yeah. So okay.
But you get that like straight off of him.
Yeah.
To
I
the
just wanted
point
to
where you
confirmation,
like
just-
like as you like, yeah, because like it's a 26, so like you look over and like it's almost like you immediately switch to like, is he being condescending?
um
Like, how much information are you not telling me?
Ekron, can you shut down for a moment?
Well, we're learning
he
so
gives-
much.
He like gives this like soft like, and then his eyes almost roll into the back of his head.
Okay, so first off, I turn to the rest of the group. First off,
Who else is here
did
beside
you
us?
know? Did you know? Did any of you know? Or is this fresh information for everyone?
This is
pretty
news to me.
fresh information.
Okay, now is it fresh information that he's holding back info that we might need to know?
What? Who's holding back
Ekron
info?
wouldn't hold back information from us. He's been very open.
Okay, so I get you're not wasted right now, and maybe that aids you in your insights and everything. But I assure you, this one is holding back. He is in fact, he almost thinks he's better than us. He thinks he's
Understanding
better than
Ecker's
smart.
nature, is he like there's frequently been times that he has not been present, but he's still been able to pop in and contribute even though we didn't think he was actually present.
Roll me a perception check, everyone. 'Cause it
Ekron
is
is-
definitely above
19.
your guys'
6.
passive.
Natural
9.
19 for 28.
Ooh, nice.
Perception. What can we do?
Everything's fine, guys. This is fine.
19.
Guys, I don't know what everybody's worked up about. This is fine.
I was
This
just
is-
like,
this-
Ekron
this
is
not fine.
Ekron is very trustworthy. I tell him everything.
Almost like
Joking.
all of the little tablets that he had out kind of quiet down. And Eckern, the hex rod kind of like lowers down to like sit onto the thing. And the dust kind of pools up very silently. Like if you rolled below an 18, you wouldn't notice.
Notice what?
Coming up behind Grins, which is why he got the 6. Up behind Grins, so everyone else is kind of around the other side. Get some good look in the darkness. Feathers start to pool together in this soft grayish black tone. Kind of comes up into this soft white owl face. And you guys are met with the first time Eckern, the librarian, complete.
So he managed to get all his what he was doing was successful then.
While he's here.
Oh,
What's everybody staring at?
Think of like when Eckern is just in the hex rod, he's like on power saving mode.
we know that it's Ekron.
Not yet, I suppose.
Okay, so I pull out my glaive and I point it and I like thrust it forward past Grins's face in the direction of what's there, and I say, "Turn around, boyo," and start backing towards me.
I start walking towards Eckern's hex rods, and I'm like, "It's okay, buddy. If anything happens, you're coming with us."
Grins is like kind of shocked, glances over his shoulder, does a double take. Well,
hex rod's not sitting there.
Hex rod gone now.
Hex rod is just not sitting at the seat anymore.
Oh, okay. Who are you?
what are you?
Why are you?
I resisted the urge.
I am the kernel unit for the Ekabos Library. I am Eckern, the librarian. At least while I'm here.
Okay, so I didn't say turn back on, but apparently you're doing the thing. So now that you're back, I have a question for you, boyo. Why the fuck aren't you telling us all the information?
The 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 whole owl kind of peels its head back a bit and kind of looks down, and the eyes just being slitted open wide, almost taking the entire circle face from bottom to top.
Yeah, both arms,
Peers
both hands on my glaive now, just still pointing at him.
peers down almost above in a deep purple spotlight that covers the area you guys are standing in. And you catch its gaze?
Yeah, I look right into its eyes.
Deep into the back of your brain, as louder than any of your own thoughts, goes, do you think you can sit upon the edge of this iceberg and see the bottom? And you kind of like look down, and you are standing on the edge of this cliff. And it is deep, and there is no other side. And you turn around, and it is dark to there is no side on that. Like, instead of a cliff, you are standing on the tip, and it both peels down to a cliff, and you stop because you couldn't go backwards and you couldn't go forward, and you're sitting on the edge of a needle, and around you is darkness. It's like the unfathomable information you want. Now, is that it? Shall I bring the darkness to you then? And it kind of rushes out, almost like the needle starts to fall, and the darkness comes up real quick. And then you're kind of just like standing there, and the spotlight is stopped. Kind of looks down and goes, in like a very soft, gentle face, like, I mean, 'cause I can, if you want to know. I still would have to break it down.
Did everybody else look into the eyes, or was it just me?
I think I would have.
Yeah, you get the same experience.
I just kind of, I would think at that point I'd be like angry and scared at the same time, and just like, you know how like I guess if I describe it, you know how like you are when your parents sit you down and like they break down why they can't tell you or why they won't tell you, but they give you the option of moving
Like,
forward with the new
right,
information.
like we could, it's like you could, it would take, but it's like I can. It would take you time. Are you prepared?
And like me knowing that I wouldn't get everything from it, like that frustration. You guys see that fury and sadness and frustration, and I just kind of like I drop my glaive and I just turn around
He
and
kind of,
walk away.
it kind of sits back a bit and goes, like, I'm telling you what you can. I'm telling you what you got. I'm not holding it back.
Hold
I'm
my hand
just
up like this as I walk away.
making it easier.
I just continue to walk away.
I can do something for you guys. Might make some things easier. A verbal understanding of the language.
Please.
Reading would take longer. That's on you.
We'll start with.
But I
we'll
can give you a verbal understanding.
We'll start with that.
You'll surprise a maid if you wake them up. I'll tell you that. Okay, let's.
I'm down for this then.
Give me just one moment though, and Ilix is gonna turn and follow tracks for a minute.
I didn't go far. I'm just
Tracks.
yeah. What?
He's not ill-meaning.
I know. It doesn't make it better.
I
It
suppose
doesn't make it
I've
right either.
you're a religious man. Have you not come to grips with the fact that your God doesn't tell you everything either?
Oh no! Oh, so we're going to take that route, Yami. And I kind of peer over his shoulder and look back at him, pointing at it. Well, that's basically the same fucking thing, isn't it? Isn't it? It's like you give your blood, you give your essence for everything, and you don't even know the big picture. It's the same fucking thing. I've already given my sweat and tears for that. And now I'm here trying to accomplish God knows what, literally, God knows what, and we're still met with some brick walls. But it's fine. It's fine. You know, today is just another drop in a bucket for the existence of this, what we have going on here. And this corruption, and right as we get on the cusp of understanding exactly what it is, there's still just so much vast ocean of knowledge that we just can't fathom.
Well, that's one way of looking at it, but let me give you another perspective, all right? I have lived my life not knowing a darn thing. I have lived my life with a blank, days just wiped clean, and not known anything about it. My life has been brick wall after brick wall. You know what you do with a brick wall? You attack
Set
it,
it on
and you
fire.
just keep
Throw sticks there.
going.
What, man?
I've broken bones attacking brick walls. I have lost more time than I care to say attacking brick walls. But at the end of the day, it's just another obstacle to overcome. I don't have the
Ekern's
benefit of your deity. I don't have the benefit of believing that what I am seeking has my best interest at heart. So, my viewpoint, you tell it to screw it and keep going. And that's what I plan to do.
silently Ekern moves across. You see an interesting. Um, it is upright, but long. Um, two of two wings folded up against its chest, two along its back that runs into a four-legged, almost centaurish, um, his head all the way upside down, kind of like looks over at you guys, using wall iconography a lot. I don't see it that way. Kind of pulls its head back, twists all the way back right. Um, maybe just not enough information to see that it is stairs. Let me change your perspective. Kind of starts reeling through. Um, you guys mentioned exorcism.
Freak ass something did.
And fire.
Son of a bitch.
One wing kind of pats pats it there on the head. It's like not fire. But you may be on the right path. I don't know what entails exorcism. Does it require materials?
Yes and no. Mainly you need a sacrament, some divine relics of sorts and strong will, strong will and belief. But that's uh, that's pretty much it. Maybe a little holy water, something like that.
Anywhere
Ideally,
in
no one else
particular,
in the room.
or can it be done anywhere?
An exorcism. An exorcism can be done in your sleep. It all depends on how strong your will is. I've seen exorcisms done on the top of volcanoes. I've seen exorcisms done in the midst of a little child's room. It's anywhere.
We're gonna get to that volcano story someday.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Hmm. Okay.
So
Listen,
then need you would need ancient relics.
precisely the reason why I came back down here.
Uh, see, I agree. Those hex rods, uh, I guess reliquaries, but they're more just batteries
And
There's that
volatile.
word again.
and volatile. The storage of large bits of energy.
Oh.
They don't really do anything on their own.
But
They
they
have to
power
channel
something.
through. Yeah, they have to channel through something, someone, something.
Hmm.
Listen, fellers, everyone. I apologize for my outburst. Uh, I guess if we're moving forward, now's a good time to be a little bit more honest and forthright. Uh, you see, and he kind of just he keeps fiddling his fingers and he picks up his Trax picks up his glaive off the ground and puts it on his back, and then he drops his accent. Listen, I guess I never lied to you guys, but I just I haven't been forward with all of you. My name is Traxidus. I am still a cleric of Celestine. But I didn't just come here off of an order to look for someone, a priest or something. I just my padre, my Father Lucian, he he was killed, and it just had me question a lot of things. But the last thing he told me to do was what I'm doing right now, which is, you know, the task, the exploring and finding the conduit. Um, but I just after he was killed, I just had a lot of questions that I didn't find answers to, and I prayed, and I still didn't get any answers. So it just felt like with everything that's been going on, with this thing on my wrist and all the stuff on our shoulders and us walking blindly into the abyss, this felt like more questions were getting thrown at us and not answers, you know? And to be perfectly honest with you, this is my first time in the field doing anything like this. So I just thought the accent was cool because it was Lucian's accent. He was a good man. He was a strong leader. He was a hell of a fighter, but he was more like a dad than anything else. So I thought that if I had the accent, maybe you guys would think I'm cool and I knew what I was doing. But the first thing I did when I got here was turn undead on something that I guess I didn't know the situation before I stepped into it, but now it's feeling like an everyday thing. We're just stepping deeper and deeper into the marsh without knowing exactly where we're headed, having somewhat of an idea why.
Ekern looks over and is like you're falling into the ocean, and you're not sure how deep the bottom goes.
Yeah, and I get it. Religion's always been that way for a lot of people. Having faith is not as easy as people think it is sometimes. I'm sure you guys can agree. But faith, at the end of the day, is as simple as taking one step, two steps, three steps, and just keep going forward, believing that eventually, even if the path is a little rocky, you're still going to be standing upright at the end of the journey. So, I'm sorry. I just, I had a moment and I needed a breath. Thanks, Felix, for talking to me. And
We all have them.
I know. From now on, I'll, I'll be more forthcoming with my thoughts instead of so sporadic, I guess.
Yeah,
But
Ekern's big body kind of swirls into a vortex and kind of gets all small and kind of like, obviously can't, but like kind of puts his hands on your cheeks, and then kind of floats off and is like, plus guys, I'm not gonna let you fall. Think of me as like your ace in the hole. I understand I wasn't very helpful before, but having a colonel unit follow you and you guys around really gives you a leg up. I mean, obviously, you guys have found a lot more than you guys really would, but maybe I'm the reason why you guys feel like you're drowning.
I kind of have to ask question. Is that creature that you took the form of there, is that actual thing that exists out here? Because that was pretty cool.
It is modeled off of a cousin of dragons, yeah.
Pretty cool.
It's an offshoot, it's feathers, and they hoard, but it's for them, it's knowledge.
it's like a second cousin,
Yeah,
a
the
third
the
Zeus.
chimpanzee of human beings. Yeah. Like a dragon, like a turtle, like a dragon turtle. What is those? The same kind of concept, right? Same
Yeah,
concept.
pretty much.
So
Owl
we're-
dragon.
You've heard of an owl bear?
I'm
This is
eager
an owl
for
dragon.
I'm eager for whatever you can tell us, Ecker, and I know you can't tell us anything. And honestly, if you could tell us all the secrets of this world, I wouldn't have you do it because it's the mystery that keeps us going. So
I want all the secrets.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I
Speak
was
for
gonna
yourself.
say, yeah, you guys, yeah, come on, you guys are humanoids. Anyway, especially, and FYI, everybody, if I get close enough to a big enough power supply, I might be able to do that more often. But I will have to dump a lot of information to make room for it.
What do you mean dump a lot of information? Like get rid of completely?
Like I don't have enough space for it.
Is there a way
Why
of
it's
upgrading your
stored
space?
here. Yes, I would have to dump a lot of information that I keep on handy.
information doesn't take any space.
Wait,
You'd
so
be
Ekron,
surprised.
if you dump the information, is there a way for us to access it later without you having to do anything?
Is there like
He
an
would- he-
arcane printer somewhere that spits out like books?
Oh
He
no,
points
no.
over at the wall that the sorters are on right now, and the big like hex like columns that they pull out and sort back in, and then every time it pushes in, it ripples out this like blue light, and now it is nice as soft blue across the entire wall almost. He's like, it would go there, and then I I don't have the area where they're stored at, but I would have another unit that would then take the information off of that wall and then put them into rods. Mm.
Well, what about just putting them into the rods that we already have?
I would just need that kind of unit. I don't seem to have any functional here. Just the sorters and the custodians.
Gotcha.
I don't have any of them here.
Would they be on the in the quarantined area?
If they're not corrupted beyond recognition. The ones over there, the custodians look like they were completely something absolutely different and horrifying, and made me want to barf in my mouth a little. Maybe.
Speaking of corrupted
can
ancient
give-
constructs, perhaps we should get to what we came down here for.
Mm.
We might need
Are
that
we deciding to wake it up here, or with something, or are we
Yeah, why did we
deciding to
come down
take
here
this one
again?
back?
get information about how maids are created.
That's
and
right,
made, and
yeah.
To see if we could recover the one that's here.
Ah, so then yes, I mean I can download what I have into some hex rods, manually.
First, what about that spoken language thing?
Ah, of course. Come to my circle. Come closer. You come a bit closer to the yes on the pedestal. I think just the inner three. You see like there's like a really close one, and then like a wider one, and then like a third one that kind of runs out really close to it. And there's like a lot of space in between the first and second kind of lighted circle on the ground.
As Grins
It's
is
like it's
walking
its
in
own
that
little
direction.
pop. He's like, yeah, because I can't do it from too far away. Still, the lights still aren't on, so running off of backups.
As Grin starts walking in that direction, he looks over his shoulder at Trax and he's like, I knew you were faking that accent.
I was never really good at accents. Sorry.
Ekron looks over, is like, I had no clue. I thought that was real. That was wild.
That was wild. I guess I walked there and I walked there too.
You know, if you fake it long enough, it's kind of really you then, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it'll slip back and forth from time to time, but that's only because I had such respect for the guy.
I have to be careful with Irish accents because it's hard for me to pull out of them.
Uh,
Hard. Same with Southern. I get caught in a Southern accent and I start throwing it out. Living in Kentucky for too long.
Man.
So getting hip to bring the term pain in here. This is kind of the flow of how their conversations go. So you guys get close, and the kind of the same almost the same feel as Katya does, kind of swirls out from the darkness out from behind you guys, as like the light kind of silhouettes off, and it kind of Ekron kind of wraps you in the wings, and then it all just kind of lays past you like a blanket, kind of pushes through. Like, okay, you can now do kung fu. I'm just kidding. So,
I didn't take any levels in Monk.
what? I know kung fu. No. So basically, so when I will add the language, it's on
nice.
D&D Beyond, but you now have ancient tongue. You can hear audibly and understand.
Can we speak it?
Do they have audiobooks?
If you hear it enough, you would have to train your mouth to do so not too long because you understand the language. And then writing would take longer, or reading and writing would take longer. Um, but you guys can hear it and be like, "Oh, those are words," and you would like speak back, and you can like if you understand words, so when you hear it, you'll be like, "Ah, apple, ah, go, ah, that's enter, that's enter."
Fire twuck.
Yeah, kill it with fire. I know how to say that now. All right.
Still don't know the word for exorcism though.
This is gonna be a running thing, isn't it?
Am I?
Going to need
Exorcism.
to exercise Zendaira's need to use the word exorcism.
Somebody
That's
will put
just
like
gonna
a,
be Semyaza's thing every time Zendaira does Cruel Sun. He's just gonna come down like exorcism.
They're like, I know how to do an exorcism and just blast it with cruel sun. It's like smoldering cinders. See? Exorcism.
Exorcism.
All right.
And then since you all cast spells. Yeah, so there are going to be like, and you guys have seen the few, as you guys awaken maids that are like on your guys' side, you unlock sometimes spells or features that are only because they are around for you, on your side. So yeah, Sucklaugh would be one that's would get hers.
I think you put hers in there.
She has magic right now.
Mm.
But so she would get feats and stuff. Semyaza has feats and magic.
Nice.
You guys have dragon art. Some of you guys have dragon artifacts. Dragons give artifacts. Trax has that horn still that I have to put on D&D Beyond.
That I do.
And the horn of Call Wildfire.
Yeah, I put it in my notes, but yeah.
Sounds like an exorcism.
You know what? You're not wrong. That's the thing. You're not wrong.
Literally had to take out a demon from the pits of hell. That had
So-
a grudge against the forest, I guess.
It can be used in exorcism.
Exorcism. It's how you
Nice.
exorcise a house of spiders. You kill it with fire.
I am hungry, guys.
And you guys have been communicating with Driston on some things that he would go ahead and get you guys. He's put together some. He's gotten the sorters to pull out some of these big units, big columns of hex energy off. And all kinds of other things.
Cool.
All right.
Is there any chance you have that sword and sheath combo in there yet?
Oh, no. But definitely available to communicate with.
Gotcha. I was trying to take notes on what it was. I couldn't get the whole name down, so I just have it down as Usanagi something. Sentient Sword and Scabbard.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I have it written down too. I have to separate the effects into D&D Beyond. It's drafted though.
Gotcha.
Ooh, this one. Excuse me.
Let's see.
Oh, goodness. Okay, but yeah.
Nice.
Make sure. Or is it draft in my notes? Yep. So it'll be it's Usanagi's blade, colloquially known as Gale Hollow. I have it written up here. Oh.
Is that an attunement item? I'm assuming it is.
Mm-hmm. It's also sentient. So you don't have to attune to it to communicate.
Don't have to attune to it to what?
You don't have to attune to it to communicate.
Oh.
Or for it to try to influence you. Oh, and she's gonna be so upset when she finally convinces you to draw the blade. She's gonna be so upset. Like, think of like a sword that thinks it's a cursed item. It's not a cursed item. It thinks that it thinks that it's doing well. It doesn't. That's...
And Trax was like, "I'm hungry, guys." I'm like, "Wait, was that character Trax?" I was like, "Oh, that wasn't actually Trax."
Well, let's see.
All right, I'm trying to rack my brain for where I got this from. Under my other possessions and my notes, I just have the quickening, and I'm trying to remember what that was.
Oh, it's a haste potion from Batma.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It doesn't last as long as haste the spell, but it doesn't have a downtime after unless you
Okay, gotcha.
abuse it.
Okay. Hence the name. That makes sense.
It's something that the Tabaxi army used to effectiveness against the other island by quickening them up to absurd speeds to flank and stuff, and then, you know, now it's like skooma for the Khajiits, you know?
Khajiits have bears. For Arabia are going.
Well,
What's happening? I missed everything.
oh, nothing happened.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, I think we should
Looking
figure
over
out-
old inventory and trying to remember what things were.
I think we should figure out if the maid is retrievable or not.
Yes, good plan.
Mhm.
I guess that is the next question. Is it retrievable?
It's funny.
Salvageable, maybe.
Driston went out to go and grab some hex rods he thought would be important, would have the information you guys were looking for on like how maids were created. And frickin' Ekron's like, ah, that's right. Yeah, let me go ahead and get that for you guys. He kind of throws one of his wings up, and like a whole like swarm of custodians kind of come down. And they're like picking up some things, and then Driston's kind of like walking by with like his hands, and one of them kind of like comes down, like basically like sits on top of him. He's like, whoa, oh, no, and like grabs like 3 or 4 of the like 5 he's holding, and it just flies off. And it's like, what? Oh. Well, I guess I don't need these 2. You could toss them. And one of the other custodians goes up, picks him up off the ground, puts him back on the shelf.
Well,
He's like, I think I have a few things. Oh, no, you guys are stupid. These are children's stories. You guys can. And he like waves a few of the custodians away that have a few, and they're like, he's like, yes, yes, I get it. It says like he Google searched a word, and he's getting like all the searches for that one word. He's like, no, not like I don't need that. I don't need this.
Knowing results.
He's like, yeah, he's like, no, okay.
The first 3 custodians come back with ads.
Yes, get your maid today. It's like that's not even spelled the same. Can we like lusty Argonian maid? Okay, put that away.
Oof.
Anyway,
You searched
Skyrim
Maid,
reference.
M-A-D-E. Did you mean Maid, M-A-I-D?
No, go away. You know, stuff like that.
I gotta put it in quotes when I do this.
all right.
Feeling like Jack Skellington when the kids came back with the Easter bunny. It's like, you dumb fucking fuck, I swear to goodness. So he gets a few. He's like, all right. So it goes a little something like this. He kind of pulls the wings out, and it's this soft, like, just night sky, where like only at the very top of the wings there are the stars. And he kind of pulls it through you guys. You guys are kind of just like sitting on nothing, standing on nothing. And he kind of flies down. He's like, a long time ago. When we were just farmers and traders and, pretty much bad people that we had to get rid of. after that, and we all decided to get along, moves over. And kind of brushes it over and kind of fades out. We decided that it was too much for us to have to deal with certain aspects of life, the world. Kind of like when you get something to do a job for you. And we decided to make those beings to do so. While these, and he brushes across again, and he shows humanoid individuals, almost like in this kind of like hieroglyphic-esque kind of art, but more in like silhouettes. We created big temples and pulled out energy straight from the lines themselves to embed them with magic themselves. They needed some place to draw it to, and thus we used these avatars. Later on, we added more and more until almost every aspect was taken care of by one of these divine beings. Everything was going great until we decided that we needed more from the magic that we had. Millennia later, a group of us decided that what we had had wasn't enough, and they were looking for more. They abused the magic, tortured it, ripped it apart, twisted it, stretched it,
Popped it, flipped it.
pop it, flicked it. They had to taste the magic.
Licked it.
They licked the magic. All right. I have the schematics for them being used here. Maybe she'll figure something out. She'll understand how they're put together. I have some word faith in how she can do some things. Anyway, those people got a hold of that magic and left out what they weren't going to use. But magic is itself. What's a word you guys can understand? Magic also wants to just be. And as he says that word, it kind of flickers. And kind of layers with a bunch of different voices. Some higher, many twisted and distorted, and a lot very deep. Some slowed down, some backwards. All of them saying, be. So, when they didn't let it, it came for them, and then everything else. Because if those few would not let the magic be, then the magic would make everything be. And that's what happened.
I don't want to be.
Well, you want to control how you be, at least.
That would be not ideal.
to be or not to be?
Well, you want to at least have that choice, and not to just be there, be around, alive, just being.
On our free will.
Yeah. I assume. You know, it doesn't sound too bad the way they put it until you see what it is that you would, be. Because it's not pretty, obviously, puking in my mouth.
Yeah.
So am I understanding this right? The corruption is less hungry and more angry.
Gathering.
Kind of like,
Oh no. Oh no,
I
it's
don't know.
angry.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was too obvious.
I will not go to my in-laws until I eat 50,000 more souls. Honey, have the Snickers. You're angry again.
You get hungry when you're angry.
But that still leaves the question of what do we do with this maid?
Or what can we
What can we
do
do?
with this mate?
Yeah, we were trying to figure out if it was salvageable.
Well, if you bring it close enough, or leave me a trail with these cute little torch lights he's got propped up around here, I can go and take a look.
Sounds excellent.
Did we bring it? Where's it at right now?
I drug out near the elevator. They're kind of trying to
Okay.
like rope it up, see if they have to like drag it out top.
Okay. Okay. I'll go ahead and set up the lights.
Yeah, Tristan's like, oh shoot, yes, of course. He goes grabbing some from other areas.
All right.
Slapping around some of his other excavators, like, will you stop doing whatever you're doing? Fucking do this.
So we get set up and
The
all right,
diagnosis.
Ekern. What's
So
the damage?
Ekern's sitting near his pedestal, kind of like his whole top half of his body kind of waves back and forth. And we see one of the like 3 excavator individuals kind of like pushing one over to like line up in the area, and he goes, done. And he like literally just flows through the library, following within between these like almost like pillared like hallway that they lit up for him. And he like stops, all 4 of his wings flayed out as he hovers over the maid, and he kind of sits on top of it. Puts his head over down to like the chest. Well, it's definitely inactive. I don't hear anything inside of it. Thump, thump, thump. Okay, let's take a deeper look. It kind of steps off of it. And the kind of a circle around it kind of lifts up. Almost like in a sitting position. Ekern goes and is doing like this like quick like around this like large mannequin. It's like some dings, some scratches. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe he'll never play the piano again. I'm just kidding. His arms are fine. He kind of rolls it around. It kind of flips like it's suspended. He's like, all right. Now what's going on in here? And then kind of like grabs up the brain with two of his wings, kind of drags it over here. His beak kind of nip, 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 nip. All right. Nope, it's immutable. It should be fine.
Oh, that was easy. Well, I guess we're taking it back with us then.
Who wants to carry it?
It's like, I'll get an
I would
arm. Grins, did you say you were gonna get the other arm?
Now, do you think Vaughn's ready for it?
Well,
We can find out.
we can't really ask anymore, can we?
Yes, we can.
I imagine this is probably closer to what? Closer
Mailman?
to completion than whatever she's
Mailman.
working on.
Mailman, I need you to ask Vaughn a question.
As mailman comes up, I run and give him a hug.
We need to know if Vaughn's ready to receive a functioning maid mannequin.
Kind of like goes like around one of the shelves. Kind of just they're empty, so you should be able to see him on the other side. Just kind of holding onto his little hat, rummages around in his bag a little bit, pulls out a little piece of paper. What? Crumple, 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 crumple.
Is she ready to receive a maid?
And that's not a spelling error.
It's like,
No, he puts his hand out. I was like, I pull out some paper and I write down, "Are you ready to receive a maid?" And I fold it up and hand him the paper.
go back. He's like, comes back really disappointed. A maid? What?
I was like, "Should I draw a picture?"
Pulls up a thing. Pulls up a little like a flat like almost like postcardish thing, and it kind of sits, and then in a circle, kind of like bends up, and it goes. It's like, Jesus, mailman! Oh my goodness! Why? I'm literally trying to. Okay, can you like around the corner, please? Thank you. So kind of like shuffling around. She's like zipping up like her pants a bit and like hooking up one of her overalls to it. It's like, okay, mailman, what's going on? Oh, there is now one in both places. There's like one in both. Ah, hi everyone. I see you guys are doing fine over there.
Yeah, so we had a
Duh.
question for you if you can get your head around it.
I wouldn't let mailman come around the corner earlier. So, you know, kind of ladies' private business.
Yeah, that's all fine. We don't want to know about that, really.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to receive a functioning maid?
You
Because
have
we have
an
one.
intact one.
We
Immutable.
Immutable.
If
I have an authority.
anything, if anything, that means I could see what I am doing wrong. Oh, 100% bring it over.
All right. We have a bunch
Actually,
of.
we were hoping maybe you could bring all of us over, because it's a long way to walk with something that big.
Yeah, and I don't know if Zendire is going to be able to hold up his end the entire way. I mean, holds up a little shrimpy goblin arm. I'm up for it.
I mean, I don't think the size would matter. Kind of like looks over her shoulder in like a very high upward motion. Um, and then you see it's like almost like it's like something in someone's hand kind of goes like this. And you see the big face of Dorsch just kind of like, oh yeah. Like, oh, okay, so yes, I believe we could probably do that, no problem.
Excellent. Do we have any unfinished business in this town before we leave?
Yeah, we need to pick up our outfits.
Yeah, there's that, and then I need to go shopping. So
All right, so we're going to send the maid ahead and follow behind later.
Okay. I guess. Mailman, you're made of the right stuff. It kind of like looks like she reaches past like the hologram that she's in, like boom, 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 and the whole thing kind of shakes a bit. It's like, right. I guess just set Mailman next to him. He's a good marker. I'll pull from there.
There you go.
You heard her, mailman.
Oh, come on, this will be fun.
It just seems like impatient upset that it has to wait. How dare you make an intemporal mailman wait for something? You mean I have to deal with time? The fuck is wrong with you people? Fine. But can't express itself. Hilarious. Yeah, it'll wait down there for you guys.
I have to go watch.
And a mailman is a non-linear entity.
I think we had gathered some of that. All right. I'm gonna have to watch our previous session to remember what my outfit was.
Regardless, you get it.
Yay! I completely forgot. All right, cool. I'm gonna head that way.
same these.
Go out. Seamstress meets you guys. Has you guys' stuff on its own like little like display mannequin sitting up like in the like pickup section. Like,
Tour pineapples.
I figured. I have your stuff ready for you.
Thank you.
I hope they're all tailored to your liking. We use special materials to make sure we could get the effects you were looking for and the flair that you desired.
The seamstress upon you.
Excellent.
But I thank you. And the Rose's patronage is always welcome here. You allow them, your special friends, to know that that's the case for him.
Well,
Of course.
right. Guys, I think I'm going to have to call it here.
Yeah, the kid's getting restless.
Alrighty. We'll end it here. And then if you guys are up, I'll do it next week. No problem. Otherwise, we'll expect it 2 from now.
Probably gonna be.
If we,
But yeah.
no
That'll
problem.
be the Sunday after Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. We had holidays coming.
Yeah.
So if you want, we can do
problem.
like small stuff next week and then small stuff, or we could all try to meet up after the next weekend after Thanksgiving.
I am good for the 20th
Yeah, so
or the 4th.
yeah, if anyone's available, and then we'll just plan to do the one after Thanksgiving, and then if anybody wants to show up next week, cool,
Okay. Cool.
and we'll do something
Alright.
different. Alrighty, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you
you.
all. Take care.
Later.
Later.